Security found a 16-year-old girl sleeping in Paisley Park's basement at 6 a.m. She'd been hiding there for 3 days. When they called Prince, everyone expected him to call the police. Instead, he asked her one question that changed both their lives. Because sometimes the people who break into your house aren't looking to steal. They're looking for home. Tuesday morning, the 15th of March, 2005, Paisley Park, Chanhassen, Minnesota. The sun hadn't fully risen yet. The compound was quiet except for the hum of HVAC systems and the occasional creak of old buildings settling into another day. Marcus Washington had been head of security at Paisley Park for 8 years. He'd seen everything: overzealous fans climbing fences, paparazzi with telephoto lenses, the occasional drunk who wandered too close thinking they'd get a glimpse of Prince. But he'd never seen this. Marcus was doing his morning sweep of the basement, the storage area where old equipment, archived recordings, and forgotten stage props lived in organized chaos. He heard something that made him stop breathing. Slow, steady. Someone was down here. He followed the sound to a corner behind a stack of road cases. And there, curled up on a pile of purple curtains that had once hung in the main venue, was a girl, teenager. Maybe 16, maybe younger. She was asleep, her face peaceful in a way that suggested she hadn't slept peacefully in a long time. Marcus's first instinct was to wake her, detain her, call the police. This was breaking and entering, trespassing. His job was to protect this place. But something about the scene stopped him. The girl wasn't holding anything valuable. She hadn't ransacked the place. She was just sleeping, like she'd finally found somewhere safe enough to close her eyes. Marcus radioed his partner. "Tom, I need you in basement storage now, and call Prince." "Prince? It is 6 in the morning." "I know what time it is. Call him." The girl woke up to Marcus standing over her. Her eyes went wide with terror. She scrambled backward, pressing herself against the wall. "Please don't hurt me. Please, I'll leave. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Nobody's going to hurt you," Marcus said, keeping his voice calm. "But you need to tell me how you got in here." The girl. She'd later give her name as Alicia, though that wasn't her real name. Wrapped her arms around herself. "The tour, 3 days ago. I hid in the bathroom until everyone left. Then I came down here. You've been here for 3 days." She nodded. "I only came out at night to use the bathroom and get water from the fountain. I didn't touch anything. I didn't steal anything. I just needed somewhere to sleep." Marcus studied her. She was thin, too thin. Her clothes were worn but clean, like she'd been trying to maintain dignity despite circumstances. Her backpack sat next to her, bulging with what he assumed was everything she owned. "What is your name? Alicia?" "Alicia, where are your parents?" Her face crumbled. "My mom died last year, cancer, and my dad, he couldn't handle it, couldn't handle me. He left 6 months ago. I've been on my own since then." "You are 16 and you've been homeless for 6 months. I stayed with friends for a while, but that ran out. I've been sleeping wherever I can. Libraries, shelters when they have space. But I saw Paisley Park was doing tours and I thought." She stopped, tears streaming down her face. "I just wanted to sleep somewhere with music, where I could feel close to something that made me feel less alone." Prince arrived 20 minutes later. He wore simple clothes, jeans, a t-shirt, no makeup. This was Prince at home, before the transformation into the icon the world knew. Marcus met him at the basement entrance. "Boss, I am sorry to wake you, but this is unusual. There is a girl, I know. You told me. Where is she?" They walked to the corner where Alicia sat, now flanked by Tom, the other security guard. She looked terrified. When she saw Prince, she started crying harder. "I am so sorry. I know I shouldn't be here. I'll leave. Please don't call the police, please." Prince held up a hand. "Stop. Nobody's calling anyone yet." He looked at Marcus and Tom. "Give us a minute." The guards exchanged glances but stepped away. Prince pulled over a road case and sat down, bringing himself to Alicia's level, not towering over her, not using his position to intimidate, just sitting. "What is your name?" "Alicia." "Alicia, Marcus told me you've been here 3 days, that you hid during a tour and stayed." She nodded, unable to meet his eyes. "Why?" Prince's voice was gentle, curious, not accusatory. "Why here? Why Paisley Park?" Alicia wiped her face with her sleeve. "Because your music is the only thing that made sense after my mom died. When everything fell apart, I would put on Purple Rain, and for 4 minutes I could breathe. I could feel like maybe things would be okay, and her voice broke. I just wanted to be near that, near something that felt like home." Prince was quiet for a long moment. "Where have you been sleeping before here?" "Wherever I can, shelters. A friend's car for a while, the library until they close. And you are 16. "Yes." "Where is your father?" "Gone. He left after Mom died. Said he couldn't do it anymore." "I don't know where he is." Prince looked at this girl, this child who'd been surviving alone for 6 months, who'd broken into his home not to steal but to sleep somewhere that felt safe, who'd chosen his music as the thing worth risking arrest for. "Alicia, you broke into my home. You understand? That is serious." She nodded frantically. "I know. I am so sorry. It was stupid. I wasn't thinking. I couldn't do another night in the cold, and I saw the tour, and I thought maybe, just for a few days, I could rest somewhere that felt safe, and I am sorry. I am so—" "Stop apologizing." Prince's voice was firm but not unkind. "I am not mad. I am trying to understand." He stood up and walked a few steps away, thinking. Marcus and Tom watched from a distance, unsure what was happening. Finally, Prince turned back to Alicia. "You said my music felt like home. It is the only home I have. And you came here because you needed somewhere safe." "Yes." Prince made a decision that would break every rule, every protocol, every sensible boundary. He called Marcus over. "Don't throw her out. Don't call police. Give her a room." Marcus blinked. "What?" "You heard me. One of the guest rooms upstairs. Give her a room, get her some food, and let her rest. We'll figure out next steps later." "Prince, we can't just—" "She broke in. There are legal issues. If she is a minor, then we help her. That is what we do." Prince looked back at Alicia, who was staring at him like he'd spoken a language she didn't understand. "You are not in trouble. You are safe here for now. Have you ever been so desperate that you took a risk you knew was crazy? So alone that you'd do anything just to feel safe for one night?" That is where Alicia was. And Prince saw past the rules and recognized something more important, a kid who needed help. Share this story if you believe compassion matters more than protocol. Because what Prince did next didn't just change Alicia's life. It proved that sometimes breaking the rules is the most human thing you can do. Alicia couldn't believe what was happening. Prince was leading her upstairs to a guest room. Marcus and Tom followed, clearly uncomfortable with the situation, but not questioning Prince's decision. The room was simple but beautiful. Purple accents, of course, a comfortable bed, a bathroom, windows that let in morning light. To Alicia, who'd been sleeping on concrete and in shelters, it looked like a palace. "Get some rest," Prince said. "We'll talk more later." "Why are you doing this?" Alicia's voice was small. "You don't know me. I broke into your house. You didn't break in to hurt anyone. You broke in because you needed shelter. There is a difference." Prince paused at the door. "Get cleaned up, sleep. We'll figure out the rest." Alicia slept for 14 hours straight. When she woke up, there were clean clothes laid out for her. Woman's clothing that staff had picked up from a nearby store. There was food outside her door. Toast, fruit, juice. She ate slowly, still half convinced this was a dream, and she'd wake up back in the basement or worse. But it wasn't a dream. When she emerged from the room that evening, one of Prince's assistants found her. "Prince wants to see you in Studio A." Studio A was legendary. This was where Prince created magic, where albums were born, where musical history happened, and Alicia was standing in it feeling completely out of place. Prince was at the mixing board adjusting levels on something. He looked up when she entered. "You sleep?" "Yes, thank you. I don't understand why." "You like music, real music? Not just listening, creating it?" Alicia hesitated. "I used to write songs. Before everything fell apart, nothing good. Just stuff in notebooks." "Show me." "What?" "Your notebooks." "Show me what you write." Alicia retrieved her backpack from the room. Inside, crammed between clothes and toiletries, were 3 spiral notebooks filled with lyrics, poems, song structures, musical ideas written in the margins. Prince flipped through them. His expression gave nothing away. Finally he said, "You've got something raw, unpolished, but something. Really, how would you feel about learning how to produce, how to turn these words into actual music?" Alicia stared. "I don't understand what is happening." Prince smiled. "You came here looking for home. I am offering you one. Temporarily, you help around here, cleaning, organizing, whatever needs doing, and in exchange I'll teach you production, music theory, how to use this equipment. Deal? You are serious?" "I don't joke about music. So, deal." Alicia's voice came out as a whisper. "Deal." Alicia stayed at Paisley Park for 2 years. She lived in that guest room, worked during the day helping staff, and spent every available moment in the studio learning from Prince. He was a demanding teacher, perfectionist, uncompromising, but patient in a way that surprised everyone who knew him. He'd spend hours showing Alicia how to layer tracks, how to find the right sound, how to trust her instincts while developing her technical skills. "Production isn't about having the most expensive equipment," he'd tell her. "It is about understanding emotion, about knowing what sound matches what feeling. You've got the feeling part down. Now you need the technical skills to express it." Alicia absorbed everything. She was hungry for it. This education, this purpose, this sense of belonging. For the first time since her mother died, she had structure safety. Someone who believed in her. She also went back to school, Prince insisted. "Music is important, but so is finishing your education. You are going to be somebody. You need the foundation." He arranged for her to attend a local high school, got her enrolled, made sure she had everything she needed. In 2007, when Alicia turned 18, Prince sat her down. "You are an adult now. You can stay here if you want, but I think it is time you went out into the world and showed them what you can do." Alicia was terrified. Paisley Park had become her home. Prince had become family, but she also knew he was right. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. "Thank me by being brilliant, by helping other people the way I helped you, by passing it forward." Today, Alicia is one of the most sought-after music producers in the industry. She has worked with major artists across genres, won 3 Grammys, built a career that few people know started in the basement of Paisley Park. She has never revealed her real name publicly. "Prince taught me that privacy is sacred," she explained in a rare interview conducted through her publicist. "He gave me a second chance without asking for credit. The least I can do is honor that by not turning his kindness into publicity for myself." But after Prince died in 2016, Alicia felt compelled to tell part of the story. Not with details that would identify her, but enough to honor what he did. "Prince saved my life," she said. "Literally. I was 16, homeless, and had given up. I broke into his home because I had nowhere else to go. Instead of calling police, he gave me a room. Instead of kicking me out, he gave me a future." The music industry reacted with shock. Prince had mentored many artists, but nobody knew about this. Nobody knew he'd taken in a homeless teenager and taught her to produce. "That is who Prince was," said Susan Rogers, his longtime engineer. "He helped people nobody else would help, quietly, without fanfare, because he believed everyone deserved a chance." Alicia's story inspired something bigger. After Prince's death, several people came forward with similar stories. Not identical. Not everyone lived at Paisley Park, but stories of Prince helping struggling musicians, paying for equipment they couldn't afford, giving studio time to artists who had no resources. "Prince believed music belonged to everyone," explained Questlove, who knew Prince well. "Not just people with money or connections, everyone. So when he saw someone with talent being held back by circumstances, he helped, usually in ways nobody knew about. In Alicia's case, the help extended beyond music. Prince connected her with social services to make sure she was legally safe as a minor without guardians. He helped her get therapy to process the trauma of losing her mother and being abandoned by her father. He made sure she had medical care, proper nutrition, everything a guardian would provide. He didn't just teach me music, Alicia said. He taught me that I was worth investing in, that my circumstances didn't define my future, that someone cared whether I lived or died. If you've ever felt invisible, unwanted, like nobody would care if you disappeared, this story is for you. Share it with someone who needs to know that sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places, that breaking down isn't the end, that somewhere someone is willing to catch you when you fall. In the Paisley Park vault, there are recordings nobody's heard. Sessions from late nights when Prince and Alicia worked on production techniques. Her early attempts at mixing. His patient guidance captured on tape. "Those recordings are sacred," said a member of the Prince estate who discovered them. "You can hear him teaching. Really teaching, not performing, not showing off, just helping this girl learn her craft. It is beautiful." Alicia has requested that those recordings remain private. "That was my education, my time with a teacher who believed in me. I don't need the world to hear it. I just need to remember it." But the music she has made since leaving Paisley Park carries Prince's influence. His approach to production, layering, experimentation, trusting instinct, shows up in everything she touches. Critics have noted her distinctive sound without knowing its origin. "She has a quality that is hard to define," wrote one music journalist. "A warmth and depth that feels familiar but fresh. Like she learned from a master but found her own voice. That master was Prince. And he taught her in the same place where he'd created his own masterpieces. Late at night, when the world was asleep, when the only thing that mattered was the music." Here is what Alicia wants people to understand about her story. It is not a fairy tale. It is not homeless girl meets celebrity and becomes star. It is more complicated than that. "Prince didn't fix me," she explained. "He gave me tools to fix myself. He didn't save me. He created space where I could save myself. That is the difference." For 2 years at Paisley Park, Alicia worked harder than she'd ever worked. She cleaned, she organized, she earned her keep while learning. Prince never let her feel like charity. He treated her like staff, like a student, like someone with value beyond her circumstances. He had rules. Alicia remembered. Strict rules. You work, you learn, you contribute, you don't take advantage. You don't get comfortable. You prepare for the day you'll leave and build your own life. He wasn't running a shelter. He was giving me a foundation. That foundation included hard lessons. Prince critiqued her work honestly, pushed her when she wanted to quit, refused to accept excuses. "You are not a victim anymore," he told her once when she was struggling. "You are a musician. Act like it." That tough love, combined with genuine care, is what transformed Alicia from a scared 16-year-old into a confident artist. Prince never told anyone about Alicia while he was alive. His staff knew, of course, security knew, but he made it clear, this stays private. This isn't publicity. This is a person's life. He protected her privacy fiercely. Marcus Washington, the security guard who found Alicia, recalled, "People would ask who the girl living in the guest room was. He'd say she was staff. That is it. No details, no story. Just, she works here." Even after Alicia left Paisley Park, Prince maintained that privacy. When she started getting producer credits on major albums, people asked Prince if he knew her. He'd smile and say, "I know a lot of talented people." He never claimed credit, never said, "I taught her," never used her success to enhance his own legacy. Because for Prince, the act of helping wasn't about recognition. It was about doing what needed to be done. "That is the hardest part for me now," Alicia said after his death. "I can't thank him properly. I can't tell him what his help meant. I can only honor it by living the life he helped me build." What Alicia's story reveals is that Paisley Park was more than a recording studio. It was Prince's way of creating family, of building community, of making sure the people he cared about had somewhere safe to create. Other artists have since shared stories of staying at Paisley Park during difficult times, of Prince offering studio space to musicians who couldn't afford it, of him quietly paying for equipment or covering costs that would have ended careers. Paisley Park was his home, said Sheila E., but it was also his church, his way of giving back. He never forgot where he came from, never forgot what it felt like to struggle, so when he could help, he did. Alicia was one of many, but her story is unique because of how young she was, how desperate, how close to falling through the cracks entirely. Prince caught her at the exact moment she needed catching. If he'd called the police that morning, Alicia said, I don't know where I'd be. Juvenile detention, maybe, foster care at best. I'd given up on myself. But Prince hadn't given up on me. He saw something in those notebooks I'd been scribbling in. He saw potential where everyone else saw a problem. The 15th of March, 2005. Security found a 16-year-old girl sleeping in Paisley Park's basement. She'd been homeless for 6 months, alone, desperate, hiding in the one place that felt like home. Prince could have called the police. Should have, according to protocol. Instead, he asked her one question, why here? And her answer, your music is the only home I have, changed everything. He gave her a room, gave her work, gave her an education in music production that money couldn't buy. For 2 years, Paisley Park was her home, Prince was her teacher, and music became her future. Today, Alicia has produced albums that have touched millions, won Grammys, built a career that honors the foundation Prince gave her. She has never revealed her real identity, honoring the privacy Prince maintained. Prince taught me that music is a home, she said, not metaphorically, literally. When you have nowhere else to go, music is the place that will always accept you, that will always give you purpose, that will always remind you that you matter. She also learned something else from him, that helping someone doesn't require recognition, that the greatest gifts are given in private. That legacy isn't about what people know you did, it is about the lives you changed when nobody was watching. The Grammy Awards don't know Alicia's real name, but they know her work. The music industry doesn't know her story, but they respect her craft. And somewhere in Minnesota, in a vault at Paisley Park, there are recordings of a legend teaching a homeless girl how to transform pain into art. That is Prince's legacy. Not just the music he made, but the musicians he made. Not just the art he created, but the artists he saved. Marcus Washington, the security guard who found Alicia that morning, said it best, I thought I was dealing with a break-in. Prince saw it different. He saw a kid who needed a home, and he gave her one. That is not just kindness. That is transformation. Today, Alicia mentors young producers, especially those from difficult backgrounds. She offers free studio time to artists who can't afford it. She passes forward what Prince gave her, not just technical skills, but belief that circumstances don't define destiny, that talent deserves opportunity, that everyone needs someone to catch them when they fall. I was sleeping in a basement because I had nowhere else to go, Alicia said. Prince could have had me arrested. Instead, he gave me a future. How do you repay that? You don't. You just pass it forward. You catch the next person who is falling. That is what he taught me. That is his real legacy. 3 Grammy Awards sit in Alicia's studio, but the most treasured item is a purple notebook, a gift from Prince on the day she left Paisley Park. Inside, he'd written, you came here looking for home. You found it in music. Now go build homes for others. She has been doing exactly that for 15 years. Building homes in sound, creating space where artists can be safe, honoring the man who looked at a scared 16-year-old trespasser and saw a future Grammy winner. The basement of Paisley Park still exists, but it is no longer where forgotten things go to hide. It is a reminder that sometimes the most important thing you can do is give someone a safe place to sleep, a chance to rest, a moment to believe that tomorrow might be better than today. Prince did that for Alicia. For countless others, quietly, without fanfare, because that is who he was when nobody was watching. The world knew Prince the performer, the genius, the legend. But Alicia knew Prince the teacher, the guardian, the person who proved that music isn't just sound. It is shelter, it is family, it is home. And sometimes, when you are 16 and homeless and hiding in a basement, that is exactly what you need to hear.